Welcome to Mr. Moros, your go-to channel for spine-chilling tales, mysterious legends, and true crime stories that will leave you questioning reality. If you love exploring the dark, the unexplained, and the terrifying, you're in the right place. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon so you never miss an update. If you enjoy this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends who love a good scare. Now let's dive into today's story. It was a hot July afternoon when Lars Mittank sprinted out of Varna airport. Captured on a single grainy security camera, the 28-year-old man tore through the departure terminal with a look of sheer terror etched on his face. His lanky frame stumbled briefly as he ran, before he picked up speed again, dashing past stunned onlookers. He didn't slow down as he burst through the automatic doors, disappearing into the vast open fields beyond the airport fence. That was the last time anyone saw Lars Mittank. For years, this chilling footage has haunted those who have followed his story, sparking intense speculation and mystery. What was Lars running from? Or perhaps, more disturbingly, who was he running from? Lars Mittank wasn't an easy man to lose. Standing at 6 feet tall with blonde hair and a strikingly fit build, he was well liked back home in Germany, where he worked as an engineer and was known for his quiet, grounded demeanor. Friends and family described him as a down-to-earth man who loved sports, especially soccer, and led a straightforward life. So when Lars and his friends decided to take a week-long trip to Golden Sands, a popular resort town along Bulgaria's Black Sea coast, no one could have anticipated the nightmare that would unfold. Their trip started like any other summer vacation. They lounged on the beach by day, explored the local nightlife, and bonded over their shared love of soccer. But by the end of the week, things took a strange turn. On their last night out, Lars got into an altercation with a group of men in a bar. The specifics of the argument are unclear. Some reports suggest it was over soccer team rivalries, while others hint it may have been an accident of wrong place, wrong time. Whatever the cause, Lars walked away with a ruptured eardrum. His friends urged him to see a doctor, and he reluctantly agreed. The local doctor advised Lars to avoid flying for a few days due to the injury, recommending antibiotics and rest. Lars's friends offered to stay with him, but he insisted they go home as planned. He would follow in a day or two once he got the green light from the doctor. So his friends flew back to Germany, expecting Lars to join them soon. But they couldn't have known it would be the last time they would ever see him. Alone in a foreign country and nursing a painful injury, Lars began behaving strangely. He checked into the modest Hotel Color in Varna, a place far removed from the beaches and bustling bars of Golden Sands. At first, his mother, Sandra Mittank, thought little of the decision. Maybe he just wanted some peace and quiet while he recovered. But soon their phone calls became increasingly unsettling. Lars called her late at night, whispering about feeling unsafe and paranoid. He told her that unknown men were following him, that he feared for his life. In one haunting call, he begged her to cancel his credit cards, insisting that someone was out to harm him. Sandra was bewildered. This was not like her son. But the details of his pleas left her helpless and alarmed. Lars's behavior at the hotel was just as erratic. Witnesses later reported that he barely slept, kept his curtains drawn, and appeared on edge, constantly looking over his shoulder. He left his room several times to roam the halls, only to return moments later. At one point, he left the hotel altogether, only to return hours later, visibly shaken. The hotel's surveillance footage shows him pacing, nervous and agitated, as though he were being hunted. But hunted by whom, or by what? On the morning of July 8th, Lars decided he'd had enough. He called his mother to tell her he was coming home. There was a sense of desperation in his voice, almost pleading. Sandra, relieved, encouraged him to head straight to the airport and come back to safety. Lars agreed, but something still wasn't right. He went to the airport clinic before his flight, hoping to get one last checkup on his ear. The clinic's doctor examined him, giving him clearance to fly. But what happened next is as confusing as it is terrifying. Midway through his consultation, Lars's eyes flicked toward the door. He froze, his face drained of color. Without warning, he bolted from his seat and sprinted out of the clinic, leaving behind his backpack and all of his belongings. Staff tried to call him back, but he was already halfway down the corridor, his footsteps echoing through the sterile halls. The surveillance camera picked up the next part. Lars dashing through the terminal, throwing desperate glances behind him, as if someone or something was right on his heels. Outside, Lars didn't slow down. He sprinted through the airport grounds, cleared the tall chain-link fence, and disappeared into the fields and forests surrounding the airport. Authorities combed the area, hoping to find any sign of him, but Lars had vanished without a trace. His mother, desperate and heartbroken, flew to Bulgaria, praying that he might reappear. She plastered posters throughout the area, combed through hours of footage, and pleaded with anyone who might have information. Days passed, then weeks, then months, but there was no sign of Lars Mittank. Theories about what happened to him flooded the internet. Some believed he had suffered a psychotic break, possibly brought on by the combination of antibiotics, pain, and the stress of being alone in a foreign country. This theory was bolstered by reports that some antibiotics can, in rare cases, cause hallucinations or paranoia, especially if mixed with alcohol. Others, however, pointed to the strange circumstances surrounding his behavior. The paranoia, the sense of being followed, his sudden, inexplicable flight, as evidence that something more sinister was at play. One theory suggests that Lars might have become involved, knowingly or unknowingly, in some sort of criminal activity or conspiracy. Varna, while a popular tourist destination, is also known for its organized crime syndicates. Could Lars have crossed paths with the wrong people that night at the bar? Perhaps his paranoia was not entirely unfounded, and there truly was someone after him. But why then would he run toward the airport only to flee moments later? Was there someone there waiting for him? Someone he recognized and feared? Another possibility is that Lars's injury led to a condition known as exploding head syndrome or other auditory disturbances, which can cause vivid auditory hallucinations. Combined with the unfamiliar environment, these disturbances might have pushed him to the brink of paranoia. Yet even this doesn't fully explain his behavior at the airport or the way he fled in such a blind panic, abandoning everything he owned. Despite the theories, no evidence has surfaced to explain what happened to Lars Mittank after he disappeared into those Bulgarian fields. There have been sporadic sightings over the years, but none have been confirmed. In 2016, a truck driver reported picking up a disoriented man who matched Lars's description along a road in Varna, but by the time authorities arrived, the man was gone. Another report claimed a man resembling Lars had been seen wandering near a gas station in Poland, but this too led nowhere. For Lars's family, the uncertainty is unbearable. Every year they continue their search, refusing to give up hope. His mother, Sandra, remains steadfast, haunted by the last phone call she shared with her son. She replays them over and over, trying to find any hint, any clue that might lead to answers. And in a heartbreaking twist, she keeps her phone by her side at all times in case Lars ever calls again. The story of Lars Mittank remains one of the most unsettling disappearances in recent history. The image of him fleeing from an unseen threat lingers in the minds of all who have seen it, a haunting reminder of the thin line between reality and fear, between the known and the unknown. To this day, the question persists. What was Lars running from that July afternoon in Varna? Some say it was all in his mind, a tragic convergence of pain, fear, and paranoia. Others believe he saw something that no one else could understand, something that pushed him to flee in terror. And yet, the most unsettling possibility of all is that Lars's fears were real, that there was someone or something after him. In the absence of answers, the only certainty is the chilling footage of a young man running for his life, disappearing into the wilderness as if swallowed by the shadows themselves. To those who loved him, Lars was more than just a name in a case file or a face on a missing persons poster. He was a son, a friend, a young man with dreams and ambitions that were cut short by something no one can explain. And as the years pass, the hope of finding answers fades, but the search for truth goes on. As with so many mysteries, we are left only with questions. Perhaps one day Lars Mittank's fate will come to light, offering peace to his family and closure to a story that has captivated and haunted so many. Until then, the final image of Lars remains frozen in time, a man running from a fear only he could see, vanishing into the unknown, leaving behind only questions, fragments of a life interrupted, and the lingering, unanswered terror of what might have been pursuing him. Thank you for watching today's episode on Mr. Morris. If you enjoyed the story, please give the video a thumbs up and share it with someone who loves the thrill of a good mystery. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss a spine-tingling tale. If you have any suggestions or stories you'd like to hear, leave a comment below. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep exploring the unknown. See you in the next video.